Oh, okay. So you mentioned that being a Jew, and I have seen from many of your videos that you are much into this Judaism, and you were comparing it with Islam, and you were even teaching Islam to the Jews over there. So I think I understand that you have a pretty good understanding of both these religions. So just for the sake of make it aware of all these people over here, especially the Muslims, that can you please draw a few comparison points regarding between this Islam and Judaism, where it comes similar in some other ways or the other?
So I would say that Islam and Judaism might appear similar as on the cover, like the cover, but the content is completely different. So what happens is that we have similarities in prayer, in the and then we, like, Jews pray 3 times a day, and Muslims in the start, I think it was 3, and then they changed to 5. And then the way you wash yourself, right, before and after prayer, and that's also, like, those are also traditions that come from Judaism.
The ablutions.
The cleaning,
Cleaning. Okay.
washing, the washing,
Okay.
the washing your
Wudu,
feet.
wudu we call it.
Okay.
Okay.
And then
what do you call? What do you call in? Yeah. What do you call in Hebrew?
Tehara.
Tehara. Okay.
Tehara. Yeah.
Okay.
And then you have some dietary laws, but not all of them. Everything that is kosher, everything that, if you go by the book, everything you see a Jew eat, a Muslim can eat as well. But not everything Muslims eat, Jews can eat.
Everything Muslims eat, you can also eat.
Muslims, everything that is kosher is also halal.
Okay.
So if it says kosher, the food is kosher, which is the Jewish halal, it means it's also halal.
Okay.
But not everything that is halal is also kosher.
Oh, okay.
Because in Judaism, the restrictions are more strict.
Okay. So how about this eating pork, that is bacon and all?
Yeah, so that's a dietary law that we have in common, but not only that, the way you slaughter the animal is very similar.
Okay. Everything is similar.
Not everything, because you can eat seafood, we cannot. Like, there are things that are not.
Okay.
Like shrimps, not kosher, but halal.
Yeah, halal. And coming to the circumcision and all, do this Jewish community, Jewish people still do this female circumcision? Female circumcision?
No, there is no female circumcision in Judaism.
Okay, only male is there.
There never was Jewish. Okay. Like for women, no, only men.
Okay, and what are the similarities with Christianity in this manner, like?
So in Christianity, is more about the actual laws and spiritual. So in Christianity, we both have the 10 Commandments. So the way you're supposed to interact with the friends and family and people is very different from Islam. So in Islam, there is no 10 Commandments. And Judaism and Christianity do have 10 Commandments, which is very basic. And more than that, like the stories, like the whole Bible, like the Jewish Bible, is included in Christian theology. So every story, for example, the story of Moses, like I've mentioned in my video, is told the same way in Judaism and Christianity versus Islam, where it completely changes the story.
Okay. Okay, so things are like getting more and more complicated, and at a point we might even think that everything is same. There's no difference.
There is a lot of difference. There is a lot of difference because stories make a big difference.
Okay.
Also, a woman, different, completely different. The treatment, like whether you convert people or not in Judaism, you do not convert others by force, and also you don't convince other to convert.
Okay.
If somebody wants to convert, you have to shoo them away 3 times, and if they come back the third time and they're really really convinced they want to become Jewish, then you can accept them.
Okay. So a person can become a Jew, you're saying.
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
And what if a
but it takes
person?
several years.
Oh, okay. And what if a person apostatize from being a Jew? If he
You
renounces,
cannot. You are
means
born a Jew, you die a Jew.
okay. So die as a Jew or a kill as a Jew also. Like if you leave the religion, you will be getting killed, like that we see in Islam.
No, no, no.
No. So how about if a person loses his belief in Judaism?
Still a Jew.
Still a Jew. So it's more than a religion. You are finding it as an identity. Like
Yes, it's an ethno-religion. If your
okay,
mother is Jewish, you're Jewish, even if you convert to a different religion.
okay,
Even if you
okay.
never practice anything Jewish, you're still a Jew.
So what is your position towards this atheists among Jews?
I'm an atheist.
You're an atheist.
It's common. Yes.
Okay.
It's
Okay. So
not
I think.
that it's not that hard to be a Jew and an atheist, to be honest. And you can even justify it by the way Judaism describes God.
Okay. So that.
Because there is a reason we don't have, the first commandment. You cannot have an image of God. You cannot make image because there is no image. So the thing is that the Judaism aims towards abstraction. So I know religious Jews who, for them, when they say God, God is the science.
Okay.
God is the laws of nature.
So I think this is something which our Muslim brothers can take from Judaism. Like if you are taking a lot of things from Judaism, why can't you take this too? Like this, the way you deal with this apostates and the atheists among yourself. Like the apostasy law in Islam is too harsh that you might even get killed. That is what is happening here.
But Islam is different than Judaism because what makes someone Muslim? Like you can, it's not something, if you stop believing, you stop being Muslim, right? Because
Yeah.
it's more like a religion.
Yeah, yeah. It's purely a
What-
religion.
And
It means
Judaism is nationality.
Okay. So wherever
It's
you
like,
live, you have the Jews living in USA, you have them living in the Russia and other places. Even we had Jews in our place. Like I'm from Cochin.
Cochin,
Yeah. So we have the synagogue here and people from here, and I still believe that 1 or 2 people are here. Still, we have them. Okay. So have you? Do you know that history?
It's like, yes, so I can talk
Okay.
about it. It was a real big thing, just so you know. It was a really big questions with Jews in the emancipation with Napoleon, for example. He came to the Jews and he said, "Listen, guys, we know that you are a different nationality. It's not just a different religion. You guys are different people. Your Jews is not like you're not French. You have your own nationality." And then they said, and then they invented the concept of double nationality. So Jews are like kind of hold double nationality. One nationality is Jewish, and then the other nationality is wherever they live.
Okay. So being a Jew is more than a religion. It's a nationality. That's what you're saying.
I think
Okay.
it's the most, like the closest thing in modern times to what being Jew is nationality.
Okay. Okay. So I was mentioning about the Jews that we had in our place, that is Cochin, and we had a a big group of Jews who were living in Kolkata. So we still have some bakery named after them and other things. Still, it is that there are schools operated by Jewish community. Then many details were given on my channel itself. So I'm not getting deeper into that. So now I think we had a pretty good intro regarding your background and how this whole thing works. So shall we get into the serious business?
Yes, let's go.
Yes. Okay. So that's something related to the current issue that is we are always talking about since October 7th. So let me start from that itself. What was your feeling when you saw or when you heard about this October 7th event? What was you
I
going through in your mind?
pain,
Was anyone
shock.
from you, yeah, anyone from your family who was into that, like affected by that?
So everybody,
Okay.
but not direct family, like second. For me, I feel like I so so I, so somehow I'm the only maybe the only person who doesn't have people I was really close to that
Okay.
died on October 7th. But my younger sisters, my one sister lost 10 friends, and the other sister lost 3 friends on
On the
the
same
attack
day. Okay.
same day.
Okay. That's very sorry for that. But when we say about this, we have two perspectives. That is October 7th from the perspective of a Jew, and October 7th from the perspective of a Hamas supporter. I won't say Palestinian, from a Hamas supporter and the Hamas. I say that differently because I still believe that you may correct me at the end of this discussion, but I say it that way because for me, there are civilians who are innocent on both the sides who want peace to their lives and they want to live a pretty good life. But at the same time, there are some people like this Hamas, and in the history we had this PLO supporters and other people who were always trying to incite these people and leading them into an unending violence, which have led to this unending problem. So, what's your take on this?
So it's not accurate.
Okay.
First of all, from the beginning, you know what's the main difference between the Arabs that got Israeli citizenship and then the Arabs that fled? So the main difference is that those who stayed were those who believed that they can coexist with Jews.
Who stayed with you or
Yeah, if you
back?
with back in 1948,
Okay.
there were Arabs that stayed, and even Arabs that decided to collaborate and join the Jewish side.
Okay.
And then there were Arabs that stated that they're gonna eliminate every Jew and take their property. And what ended up being is that most Arabs that believed this way and thought that way had ran away,
Okay.
left. Mostly because they believed that the Jews are gonna do what they want to do. You know, so for them it was like they were, a lot of them were projecting. It's like, okay, if I were Jewish and I came to this time, this is what I would have done. So they scared themselves so much that they left. Those who didn't believe that stayed. And then from the get-go, so what happened was that the Palestinian project is not just the Palestinians, it's the whole Arab world
Arab. Yeah.
project.
True. True.
It's an Arab project. So what is also unique about the Palestinians is that you can also say that they're kind of people who were there that were pushed by the Arab countries to make problems for Israel.
Arab countries.
So yes, from Egypt,
Yeah.
Lebanon, Jordan,
Jordan.
all
Yeah.
the countries. So so those who were radical were more likely to collaborate with that plan. And those
Arab
who weren't
cause.
so radical, yeah, the Arab cause to eliminate Israel. And they are mainly those kind of people are the Palestinians today. Some were born to it and chose not to be like that. But most of them tried to live or leave, because I heard many people that say that those Arabs that didn't agree with being so violent and eliminating the Jews left a long time ago. They left both the Gaza and both the West Bank,
Okay. So I
and
have
those
a
who
question.
do believe in that cause stayed there.
Yeah, I have a doubt here. So you were giving an idea that at the time of formation of Israel as a country, there were some Arabs or the people in that region who came along with you into the state of Israel, right?
Yes.
Okay, so now there are some other people who are staying back, and they are fighting for whatever cause that they are talking about. So
They don't
whatever
have
it be,
Israeli citizenship, most
yeah,
of
they
them.
don't have a citizenship. Like, okay, so they are asking for a separate country, not a separate country. They want to eliminate Israel and they want to exist as a separate country. That's what they call, like the river to sea.
No,
Israel, Palestine will
they
be
don't
free.
really want a separate country. They want to be
Okay,
they wanted to be part of Syria already,
Syria.
but now
Okay,
there is no more Syria.
okay,
So I don't
okay.
know what's the plan now. But they
So
don't.
yeah, so yeah, my doubt was something else. That is there a kind of enmity between the Arabs who chose to be with you and who are not with you? Is there a kind of
Yes,
enmity between
yes,
them, not
yes,
between the Jews
yes,
and the Arabs, between the Arabs
yes,
who are with you and the
yes,
Arabs with you?
yes,
Okay, how
yes,
is that
yes.
functioning?
Oh, they hate them.
Okay, so
They,
is
in
that the
October
reason?
7th, they
Yeah,
they they kidnapped
killed.
Muslims,
Yeah,
killed, and
so
hostages. There are still hostages in Gaza that are Muslim.
okay, so
They
that's the
took a
reason.
girl that was a 17, I don't know, a 15-year-old girl, like a young girl, that she was completely hijab, with a hijab and everything. She was one of the hostages in Gaza. She got
Okay.
released already in the last deal, when they
Okay.
released, like, I don't know,
Okay. So do you have
tens
an
of
idea?
hostages, but
Okay. Yeah. So do you have an idea of the number, exact number, or something that how the Israeli Arabs who are held by this Hamas as hostages?
I don't remember the number. No, I
Okay. But
know
okay, but
there.
there are still they are with them.
Yes.
Okay. And even they are included in the 1,200 people who were massacred on that day.
Yeah.
Okay, so there is a well evident enmity between the Arabs in Israel and the other people. So I asked this particular question, because before talking to you, and I have even talked to Hanania on coming into this channel and to talk about all this, and he's traveling right now, so he was not able to get enough time for that. But even well before talking to you and Hanania and all, I had contacted a few of my Arab Jews who are living in Israel right now. They are with their families, their children are studying abroad, and all such things are done by them. And they were not ready to come onto this channel publicly. Not even a single word they are able to say it openly. That's what they told me personally. And the reason is that there are still their relatives who are living in Palestine, and they will lose them. That's the fear. That's what they are
Lose
having
them,
there.
like,
Okay. So that's the
lose
reason.
them.
Yeah. So I was really astonished to hear that, because, see, people are always looking for a prosperous life, to live a beautiful life. Anyone. That's the basic understanding of anyone who is living on this earth. But these people,
This is wrong. They are not looking for this. Do
okay,
you
so,
think the Gaza? Look at the Gaza now.
yeah,
Like, know your neighbors. Israel always responds with a lot of damage, because of the way it works in the Middle East. There, the life quality in Gaza was a lot better than any Arab country,
Okay.
except the UAE, obviously, and Bahrain, and like, those oil countries, but way better than Egypt, better than Jordan, better than Lebanon, better than Syria, better than Libya, better than so many countries. Life in Gaza was very high
Okay.
quality.
Now that place is completely
Now there
destroyed.
is, yes.
No life there. And
And they're proud, and a lot of them say, we don't care. We're gonna continue this war regardless of
okay.
our lives.
So I have a question here. That is, when we talk about Palestine and the ongoing conflicts, which is we are talking about every day, it's only the Gaza is coming into this picture, and not a single word is heard from the people from the West Bank and the people over there and
The
trying
IDF
to.
is inside the West Bank.
Okay, so why IDF is
No,
there
you
still?
can hear a lot of people from there. You can talk to them.
No, I'm not asking that I am able to speak, but I am
Yeah.
asking you like these people, that is the West Bank, is not coming into this picture. Like when they say that free Palestine, this is the phrase that they are using. So I always ask them back whenever people say this, free from what? Okay, that's the question that comes. Free from whom? You were already free, and why are you still asking for free? And what? How would you take this question, like free Palestine? How would you take that?
Free from Jews, free from Samaritans, free from Christians. That's free.
Okay.
Like, I don't know if you know, like the Samaritan history. The Arabs almost killed all of them. And then in the last moment, the Jews saved them. In the 19th century, so 200 years ago,
Okay.
the Muslims have declared the complete annihilations of the Samaritans because they said, okay, they're not Christians, they're not Jews, so they're not people of the book, so we need to kill them.
Okay.
So the Jews stepped up and they said, they're not, the Samaritans are Jews, you cannot kill them. And this
Okay.
is how they were saved. But now they're like, after that, they were like, okay, now it's going to be on Jews and Christians too. Like, there are almost no more Christians left.
Okay. So whoever sides with you are their enemies. That's how they see.
No, not only that.
Okay.
Whoever sides with that, if they're Muslim, yes, they're enemies. But
Okay.
every other religion that is not Islam.
Okay. But still, they find the Arab Muslims who are with you as enemies too.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you
So
mean? Like inside the Israel society?
yeah,
Yeah, there's
yeah.
still people who believe in and joined, like, when ISIS came, some Israeli Arabs went and joined ISIS.
Okay. So talking about all this again comes to the same question. That is, um, what is the plan between this Gaza and West Bank, among them? Like, what are they seeing themselves like? Um, these two
Okay,
places.
so even historically, they were never the same people. They never married between themselves. Like Gaza and West Bank, they're different nationalities almost, even
Okay.
historically speaking. Like, they don't even look the same sometimes.
Okay.
It's a bit more complex than that, because there was a lot of like movement and stuff like that. But there are, like, I know for certain, like, there are villages, Arab villages, that nobody would marry an Arab from that village specifically because they're considered a lower class. It's like there are classes.
Castes among them.
Like, yeah,
Okay.
like castes. So Gaza and West Bank were never on the same. level.
Okay.
So the truth is that they would not get along that
So,
well.
yeah. So, are you trying to say that they will never be the same again, or they will never be a single Palestinian state, even if they gain some kind of independence?
Mm-mm,
They will
never.
be two separate countries again, fighting each
No
other between
countries. They
Gaza.
will just kill each other until nobody's left, and they go to
Okay.
Europe to the next destination.
Okay. Just before that, just before the war begins, I'm asking. I know that that
No,
might.
let's be real, okay? If all Jews disappear tomorrow, they will
Okay.
come here, use up all the money, use up all the resources, understand that this is still a country in the middle of the desert that has nothing to offer, and then go to Europe. And there
Okay.
will be zero people here in 100 years.
Okay, so there, that call for genocide, that is the river to sea, Palestine will be free. You really fear that, they are saying that from their hearts?
Of course, of
Okay,
course.
so have you experienced this anti-Semitism from this, apart from this October 7th? Before that, while you were a child and all, this
Yes, yes,
anti-Semitism?
yes. A lot of
Okay,
Hitler was right.
okay, so that's
Too
the
bad he didn't
most.
finish the job. Blah blah blah. Things like that.
Okay. Okay, so uh, and regarding this issue, when we talk about, we always say that okay, the two-state solution is the perfect solution. Do you think that way? Are they
No,
going to accept that?
I don't care if they're gonna accept it or not. I'm just saying it's impossible. Like for me personally, I believe that geography is number one consideration when establishing borders, and the two-state solution is impossible geographically.
Okay.
To be honest, that's the most basic like reality that people like. I think a lot of people forget that in the end of the day, you need to eat, you need to sleep. You're a human.
Okay.
And then there are certain facts that you cannot ignore, and one of them is geography.
Okay, so this is something which is being always alleged that on the lines of Zionism, the geography, the land, and other things. So, how do you see this Zionism? Is it a modern or another version of the people used to say that way, like something related to what the Hitler did? You are doing the same. This is the kind of argument that they make.
No,
So, how do you see
Zionism
this
just
Zionism?
Zion is Jerusalem, first of all. And Zionism is also almost the same as saying somebody is Israeli. Like, it's the Israeli nationalism. So, but like in the most basic way, every person who lives here is like Zionists. We're like, even if they're the most left people and believe in two-state solution and things like that, still Zionists, because it's like believing in the Jewish nationality and statehood.
Okay. So, but we have seen some Jewish rabbis and some people who are talking against this Zionism, Zionist movements, and they are saying that your prime minister and other
Yeah,
people
but they
who are
go against Judaism.
means what?
It's like it
A
goes
kind of
against,
blasphemy.
yeah,
It's a blasphemy, like to talk against this Zionism.
kind of, yeah.
Okay, so you, in a way, that you are also a Zionist.
Of course, yes.
Okay. Okay.
Like almost, you will not find in like people who are not Zionists in Israel or Jews in general. It's such a tiny minority. It almost doesn't exist.
Okay. Okay, so it is so normal to be a Zionist in Israel.
It's so normal. It's like 100%. You're not gonna find somebody. You're gonna find a few like maybe people who say they're not Zionists, but they're like very Mashiachim. It's like they believe in a Messiah. To be like they're they're cults, okay? There are cults that don't believe it, but it's a neglectable minority.
Okay. And this is just for this Jewish community or the same Arab
So
Israelis
there
who?
are Arab Israelis, it's a bit more complex. Some Arab Israelis believe that Israel needs to be a Jewish state, and that's
Okay.
Zionism. But some Arab Israelis want it to be a non with a neutral state, without religion.
Okay.
And then those are not Zionists.
Okay. So, can you please give a little more details about this Arabs in Israel? Like we always say that we always defend while saying all this. That is, you won't be able to find a single Jew in the whole of Middle East, like apart from the Israel. That like you can't see a Jew in Iraq or Iran or even any other Arab countries. But at the same time, you will find almost 20% of Arabs, Muslims in Israel. So how are they living in Israel? Like how are they treated? How is the parity between a normal Jew and a Arab Israeli?
It's basically it's the same. It's hard to say because it's also Arab Israeli states. It's very diverse. Very people have very different opinions. They're also most of them love Jews, which is something that doesn't exist anywhere else in the Arab world, where anti-Semitism is almost on a 100% level.
Okay. So,
So
do they just be in the IDF, in your parliament, everywhere?
yeah, yes, they don't have some sects. I think most of them don't have a mandatory service, and then some volunteer. But it's like for them, they in a way they're already doomed. It's not like they have a choice because the
If they go back, they will
other,
be killed.
yeah, basically.
So do you think that they are staying back in Israel out of no choice?
No, I think they
No,
like it here.
they are loyal to the country, like Israel.
Most of them.
Most of them.
Yeah, most
So,
of them. Like the majority of them. Yes.
okay.
Because like I told you before, there were some that, dream about the caliphate because they are devout Muslims and they joined ISIS when ISIS became a thing.
Okay.
And then obviously they're not loyal to Israel, but I wouldn't say it's like
Okay.
a thing. It's like it's hard to answer because we live with them, we know them, we study with, like it's integrated already.
Completely integrated.
Exactly. So like it's weird,
That's a
and every person has different opinions.
Yeah,
So
I'm not questioning that. I completely understand that, but still, I'm just asking you it as a question because people don't know
most
that
of them,
Arabs exist in Israel.
yeah, but I'm gonna say something. Like I know a lot of Muslims, Israeli Muslims, are not aware about the dark sides of Islam. They don't know about it.
Who don't
Like
know?
Arab Muslims in Israel.
Okay, yeah,
So
the
you
dark
would
sides
see like
mostly. The majority
they
of the
don't
Muslims don't know the
don't
dark
know.
side of Islam. Yeah.
Yes, they don't like they when Hamas did what it did everything according to Islamic law. Like everything that they did is permitted in Islam. And they were so mad because they thought it goes against Islam. And I'm like, do I tell Muslims here that this is permissible in Islam? Like it's weird.
Okay.
Like you would
So
see, like there is very high-ranking Bedouin Muslim man that went inside of Gaza, and he was so mad because he said they are ruining Islam. This is not Islam. How can you go out and rape women? It's not. It's like how can you be so barbaric? How can like Muslims be like that? Because it's not Muslim. But then the whole time I was thinking, but this is exactly what Islam teaches if you actually study it.
Okay. So I have a question here. When we speak about this October 7th, I have come across a report that there were some insider involvement in doing this October 7th. So do you
Yeah,
think
there
that, yeah, do you think that it's from the Arabs who were living there or the other people who might have
no
come to
Gazans with work permits.
work permit? Only them were involved.
Yeah.
Okay. So not the other way.
No, there were a lot of Gazans that were had a work permit. And
Okay.
of course, my theory is that you don't, who decides who gets work permit? Probably Hamas decides who gets work
Okay.
permit to
Okay.
work in Israel. And
So they
then there
can
were
recruit.
Hamas, exactly. But it,
Yeah. So,
but I say like I know like there is a story, a family that had like a one Gazan guy that worked with them for I don't know 10 years now, and he was in their house. He was working inside the house, and they invited him for every holiday, and they really saw that him as part of the house. And then when October 7th happened, after working with them and living with them and like celebrating holidays together and things like that, he was the one who butchered the whole family.
okay. Horrible to learn all this.
It's like you think somebody is your friend and you love them and you treat them like family, and then 10 years later they come and kill the whole house. Like
Okay.
when the shock was unbelievable.
And I think this will be something, an epiphany for most of my viewers here, especially in my local language, because this is the same exact word that I always say, that there will be a statement that will be getting more and more lingering on to the people outside Islam, or the other, or in among the people other than Muslims, that it will be hard for them to believe a Muslim. Like anytime he can come back and bite you. This is the same exact thing that you can see anywhere and everywhere in the whole world, and the number is getting even more and more. And you will get to know more and more examples like this. The same thing that Rebecca was telling you here. So this is not simple. This is what Islam teaches, and this is even the Prophet Muhammad who teach us, like saying by saying that war is deceit. This is what he says. So
Yeah.
it's something like you can do all these things. You can tell lies. You can be a good person just for the sake of winning things. And when it comes to the Jews, it's like the Islam teaches that you have to kill even the last Jew on the earth. And only after that, the earth or the whole universe will will be doomed. Otherwise, it won't
Yeah,
go.
which is amazing. It was like, why would you even want that?
Okay, so anyway, so as I mentioned in the description, it was always even I told you that I know that Jews were in Cochin, in my place. Other than that, we don't have any Jewish neighbor or some other people from your community. But even then, I used to hate a Jew. I was antagonistic to a Jew even without seeing a Jew or learning what a Jew is. And then only I came to know very later in my life, means in that my early life, that is, it is something related to this Palestine issue, something even before that, that Jews must not be there. This is what Islam teaches. And we have this Karkat tree. What do you call that? Garkat, we call it.
I don't know what tree that is.
Okay,
There
that's
was
a tree.
I don't know, like sometimes people come here and asks us about, do you plant garka trees
Garkat,
everywhere in
yeah.
Israel so it will save you? And Israelis and Jews are like looking at them like, what?
What?
What's a garka tree?
Okay, so you don't plant that because it's
We
mentioned
don't
in
even
Islam.
know what it is, like.
Okay,
I
it's a
mean, we have
bushy
a lot
tree.
of different trees. I guess we can try all of them and
Oh,
see which
okay.
one saves us.
This is how they deceive the people in our place everywhere around the world. Like they will show some garkat tree from the desert or somewhere, and they will be telling all these people that you look at the Jewish people, they are planting this in every household. They are expecting something bigger. And the reason for this garkat tree is that to hide behind. No, the Jew will hide behind a stone, and the garkat tree will be protecting them. So these are the stories which go round and round, like regarding all these religious things. So, as a person who was growing up by listening to all these things, slowly we will come to know that what kind of BS all these are. How come someone can believe in all this? How come someone can be eternally an enemy with a person who he has not seen at least once, or he doesn't know anything about? So this antagonism, this hatred among this community, the religion, the people and all, this is one reason why I left Islam. I became an ex-Muslim. The same simple reason is that. So coming on to this, the settlements, this is something which is always arising in these discussions. That is, Israel is making settlements in this land, in the Palestinian land. So how do you see that?
I believe in settlements. I
Okay.
want more. If you ask me, I believe that it should all be settled with Jews. You know, that's what first of all, Judea and Samaria are where Jews are from.
Okay.
And what happened was that because we lost in 1948, they annihilated all the Jews that lived in that, like
So when you,
slaughtered.
okay.
And others were slaughtered before even the establishment of the state of Israel. Same with the Samaritans, like Shechem, Nablus was mostly a Samaritan town. They got completely annihilated, and there are no more Samaritans that live inside the city. They live outside the city because they were kicked out. And the biggest technical reason, not just historical reason, is that you can see every city in Israel from Judah and Samaria. So if you have Judah and Samaria, you can literally see into every town inside of the like that the into Tel Aviv to Haifa, every major city in Israel will be at like you can see into it. And then one of the biggest thing in 1967, before we had Judah and Samaria, they would send shells all the time, 24/7. So this like city I'm at right now, Kfar Saba, would get shelled all the time. All the time there would be bombings from the Jordanian side, which is now considered the West Bank. But back then there was never a Palestinian state. Jordan just annexed it, and then on
Yeah. From them.
1967,
Yeah.
exactly, the
Yeah.
Jews
Took them
reconquered
back.
it. Exactly. So what do I say about settlements? I think there should be more. That's what I think.
So, if you are pro settlement, and when we speak about this two-state solution,
I
will
don't
that
believe in two
be
states.
okay? So,
That's one. And second, they can give Jews a citizenship, even if there were a two-state solution, Palestinian and Palestine in Israel or whatever. Then, which, to be honest, they never cared about the Palestinian state.
who never
It's
cared?
always the people living here. It's a made-up concept. It was made up in the 60s or it's like
Okay.
70s. They didn't start calling themselves Palestinians until maybe the 90s. And
Okay.
it's they're like, okay, we are part of Jordan, we are part of Egypt, we want to go back to be or Syria, whatever.
Okay.
But now it's obviously there is no, those countries are in such a
Okay.
bad state that it doesn't make sense to go back to them. So there is this idea of an independent Palestine. But even like then I would say, okay, no problem, just give them citizenship. Like we have Muslims living inside of Israel. What's the problem? Just give Jews citizenship. They would be Palestinians, and that's it.
Okay. So, being pro settlement and saying no to the two state solutions, um, and when we speak about the people from the Palestine right now, like even we speak about Hamas, they are also saying the same thing, that we don't want a two state solution. They also want the
They
complete.
want them
Yeah.
to completely kill us all. Let's be honest. It's like it's no, there is no compromise, and they say, oh, they also like if you hear preachers, Muslim preachers, a lot of them say that they want all the Jews together in Israel so they
Yeah.
can annihilate 100% of world Jewry. So
Okay.
it's like something that people need to understand. Even if all Jews decide to leave today to go somewhere else, they would go to that place and chase the Jews there.
Okay. So, okay, so now I will put it this way. When you say that no two states, you are also saying that into that one state, you can coexist with every other people, including
Like
Muslims.
like we do now, but the only condition is to accept the laws and the way of like the standards that we believe in.
Okay, you mean to say the secular or democratic laws?
Democratic laws, and then the code of conduct, like the way you behave, don't lie, don't deceive, don't murder, no more honor killings, don't force women to stuff, no more polygamy, you
You are
know.
okay. So you are okay. So when Hamas kills you as people, you are killing Islam as an ideology.
Exactly.
Okay.
We
So
we don't like, we accept everyone, but don't believe
okay.
in stupid shit like that
Okay.
we don't believe in.
Okay.
The polygamy is a bad idea long term. It doesn't make life better for anyone. And
Okay. So yeah, I'm just cutting in. Like, so when, okay, I got your point. Like, when you say no to a two state solution and you are pro settlement, I understand the reason that you are making. But in a modern setting, I come from India, you know that, and we have had a similar instance when we had a partition, and we have this Pakistan and India. And so when people ask for such lands, and maybe on whatever reason, and in a modern setting, in a modern world, at times that has to be done for some sort of problem solving. And afterwards, you can defend yourself. And we are defending as a country. India is defending itself. We have become a nuclear power, and we have everything with us. And even myself, before, even though I am an ex-Muslim, officially I'm a Muslim in the papers, but still we live here beautifully. And I would say that the best, the heaven for the Muslims, if it is there in this world, it is the India itself. So in that way, I would say why we were able to live like this. It was because of that partition. Because all the people who were wanting for such a solution based on religion, they were cut away from this landmass, and now they are burning themselves. We know that, but burning top to
and everybody
bottom.
that is not Muslim, what they go through in Pakistan.
Yeah, nobody. So, so what I'm saying is, in that way, in a modern setting, wouldn't that be a little more reasonable to
No,
accept this two-state solution?
no, because you can defend your borders versus Pakistan. We will not be able to defend our borders versus West Bank.
Why?
It's impossible, technically impossible. Because geography, that's what I was saying before. It's
Okay.
geographically impossible.
So
That's
that's the
what I'm
reason.
saying. Yes, this is what I said before. The West Bank has to be a part of Israel and under Israeli control because we cannot win against geography. It's just reality. It's just the way it is.
Okay. Got it.
If you know how Israel is built, then you know Tel Aviv is on a plain, and then Jerusalem is on and this as West Bank is higher ground, and it's
Okay.
really close together. So you have a very thin strip, whereas they sent like most. like which is the Tel Aviv metropolitan.
Okay.
And this whole strip is if you have somebody dominating the upper area, yeah, they can annihilate the whole. They can annihilate it with sticks and stones. This is how, like, just by throwing stones, like the technology to eliminate the Tel Aviv metropolitan from the West Bank is so unsophisticated that it's just not realistic.
Okay. So, out of all these international pressure and a modernizing society, if one fine morning, if the people in the Palestine or the Palestinian region agree to accept the modern values and they decide to, or they want a separate country like what they are asking for, and in that case, would there be a problem? And even we know that even the current Israeli prime minister, they are also putting forward the same principle, that is the two-state solution as a solution. So,
No, Netanyahu.
yeah.
No, he never believed in a two-state. He was always against a two-state solution. From You can find him videos of him talking when he was 28 years old, saying that there will, like, saying no to a two-state solution, and then the only time that he said something similar to yes, we can compromise towards two-state solution was under Obama administration. And
Yeah,
listen,
that's what I'm saying.
Obama was so violent, they literally threatened people's life, okay, to get that statement. It's not real.
Okay. So that
It's not real.
statements.
It was false statement. It was never what he believed. He had a gun next to his head. I'm not
Okay.
joking. I'm not joking. What
Okay.
Obama did, I'm not joking. I was in the army at that time. Believe me, this
So,
guy was awful.
okay. So with the discussion, what I'm getting is that this problem is not going to get over anytime soon.
Not in this,
What do you think?
like several generations, maybe.
Okay.
I believe that it's just, those Islamic values. If you drop them, there can be a solution. If you don't drop them, there will be no solution.
Okay. So that's what I was asking. If they drop it and if they are willing to change, then is there a possibility of a two-state solution?
That's what I also. So this is what I said before. Yes, if they give the Jews that live in in settlements like citizenship, sure. But let's be real. It's not.
Going to happen?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
This
nice. It's a good
anti-Semitism.
idea. It's and if unicorns existed.
Okay. Okay. So then again, the core problem is not the geography. It's not about the items over there. It's
I
everything
would
about
say
religion.
geographies too.
Okay. But above geography, what comes into play is religion.
The thing is, geography ensures that even if we forget, like if everything is cool and nice, like in 100 years, we might like have a fight on something stupid, and then we're gonna have this problem again.
Okay. So
Just
then
because it's
again,
human nature. Like if a long-lasting solutions is not just like the next 100 years, the next 200 years as well. In 200 years, even if Islam is forgotten, like everybody lives in, like everybody are hippies.
okay.
And then you
So
still have this problem, technical problem.
okay. So again, the religion is one of the main reasons
Yeah,
which can
but we
prolong
can
this issue.
live next to a Muslim Jordan. We can
Okay.
live next to a Muslim Syria in Egypt. We
Yeah.
cannot live next to a Muslim West Bank because of geography. And
Okay.
people who are writing that before 67 is like was reality, they don't understand how life in Israel looked like. They were shelling from those hills, they were
Yeah.
shelling into every Jewish town every single day,
Okay.
like bombs all the time.
Okay, I got it. So I think the world will have to suffer more. We'll have to see a lot of deaths. We'll have to see more of these kind of October 7th, which they might be planning again and again.
Yeah, but I think the next one's gonna be not only like, first of all, let's be honest, October 7th happens all the time in Nigeria, happens all the time everywhere in Africa, that Muslims do it to Christians. except the world doesn't care about Africa. The world doesn't care about Iraq. The world doesn't care about like the Yazidis. Can you
Of,
say the Yazidis were not October 7th style?
yeah.
Yes, they were. It just
So
happens to be that Israel is famous country for many
that's the
reasons, but
that's the only reason.
and we have more power to fight back. The Yazidis all had to flee. And then, of course, they regained Kurdistan, and then some came back and things like that. But a lot of them are still hostages to this day,
True.
slaves.
Yeah. Even we saw some news
And
about
yes, so
that.
what about that? And what's going to happen? Do you think it's not going to happen in Europe? It is. It will happen in Europe.
Okay, so now comes to the deaths that is happening in the Palestinian region before of the fighting back between both sides. So people always say that 30,000 people killed, babies are dying, women are dying over there, people are starving to death. Israel is more powerful, Palestine is not powerful. So there is a proportion difference and all. So how do you relate
Skill
things to that?
difference. Skill difference, not proportion difference. Skill
No,
difference.
I yeah, that's your answer. I'm telling about the
I
outward
know, yeah.
narrations. Yeah.
I think this is the first thing that needs to be corrected. The main difference is skill. When you have to understand that the numbers of thousands that entered Israel on that day was bigger than the number of people they managed to kill. And so what happened? I can tell you. When they fought the Israelis, the truth is that for every 10 Palestinians with a gun, an Israeli with a gun, it was 10 to 1 fight, but the Israelis were so much more skilled than the Palestinians that the kill ratio was insane. But like I can tell you from the Nova Festival, for example, one of my sister's friends that did survive, he snapped a gun out of one of the terrorists and started fighting back. There was a guy that caught a grenade that was thrown inside their shelter 7 times and threw
Yeah.
it back and
Back. Yeah.
managed to kill terrorists that way. And then the eighth one exploded in his arms and he died. There was also a policewoman that fought terrorists like alone on basically, and she also caught a grenade in her hands for 3 times and threw it back. Like you have to understand, like people who are fighting with like the same weapons, the skill and the determination of the Israelis is that much higher. Like the Israelis, it's a completely different kind of skill set that people who like a lot of people, oh, why don't you they fight on the same level like men, because they complain about now that Israeli are bombing from airplanes. So let me tell you, on October 7th, the army was asleep, everybody was sleeping. So citizens, Israeli people, fought, and like the police, and like very small numbers, like the ratio like of success. The truth is, on that day, there were a lot more thousands of Palestinians that died, that penetrated in Israel, than the amount they managed to kill. And they went into people's houses, they went to a party, they went to people who were sleeping. So completely cost surprise, and yet this is how fierce people were fighting back.
Okay.
Like they did insane things, insane, which I don't know if the Palestinians like didn't expect, like how the average Israeli would fight back.
So, as per your understanding, do you have any idea of how many people that might be killed already in Palestine,
I'll
in
be
that
honest,
region?
I don't know,
But
but
what do you say about all these numbers, which is being published by this Hamas, being a terrorist organization?
maybe it's true, maybe it's 10 times more, maybe it's less, I don't know. um I just say one thing: in the end of the day, parents supposed to protect their kids. Husbands are supposed to protect their wives. At least,
Okay.
in my society, I know in certain societies, women are worthless than men, but when I grew up, we expect men to protect women and that everybody protects children. And this is what we saw on October 7th. This is how Israeli reacted. Like, women died for kids and men died for women, to save women, like their partners and just in general. And people have shelters inside their houses. There are public shelters. There is a whole system and a network meant to save Israelis, even if we get like any kind of attack almost, because your neighbors. And then they've prepared this tunnel network, and they don't want to. And this tunnel network, it's unpenetratable for bombs. If
Yeah.
you're inside, you're not gonna the bombs that are dropped from the air. You're gonna stay
Not.
safe. Yeah. So for me, it's like you have to understand, like they go out of their way to put their children and women in harm's way so they could get those numbers and this pity. And I was like, no, like, it's not, you know what? It's not our responsibility. It's not our responsibility.
Okay. So, so you are waiting for the exact numbers and the true figures to come
I
out.
don't care, to be honest. I really don't care. Like, to me, the numbers that matter is that how many terrorists we got.
Okay.
How many
So,
kids and women died on the way? It's there. I know it's not. I know we do everything we can, so they won't get caught up in it. And I don't care about the numbers, because you know what? They also kill them themselves, right? They don't even have to wait for us to do it. Like those
okay.
children that were starved, why is everybody next to them are fat? How come those children look so like skeletony? And then everybody around them are like they should lose some weight. Like this is how they look like. Those kids were starved on purpose,
Okay.
and that's awful. Like this is next level, like, awfulness. You starve your own children just so you can get photos. And the children they chose, there were children that had like disabilities. So they were like, we don't care about them. Like literally, they don't care about them. So they purposefully starved those kids
Okay.
so they
For
would have
this
those
purpose.
pictures. How?
Okay. Okay. So, but when you say all this, obviously the people outside, like the Jew haters, okay, they can always say that this is being something conspired by the Jewish people to defend themselves, to escape from the blames.
Listen, if
Yeah.
if they cared even a 60th as much about people who starve right now in Yemen, and people starving children, millions of starving, more millions that even live in Gaza, are dying out of starvation in Yemen, and Sudan, Congo. If they showed a teensy bit of the percentage that they focus on the conflict in Gaza, I would say, you know what? But these people I think they're evil.
Okay. Okay. One part I agree 100% is the propaganda that is being easy for Hamas and the people from there, where the people are tend to believe them more than the democratic, secular, coexisting people from Israel.
Why
So
don't they believe on what's going on in Nigeria? Why don't they believe in what's
yeah,
going
that's
on
what I'm
in
saying.
Sudan? Why don't they believe what's going on in Yemen? The
That's
photos
one
from
reason.
Yemen are scary.
Yeah, there's one reason for that, because the media is totally directed towards Palestine and Israel. No
Why are
camera.
their lives more important than a child in Yemen or Sudan or Nigeria? Why are those lives do not matter? That's what I want to know. Because the two kids that were starved on purpose on Gaza, when you take a photo and you see that the hand that is taking a photo is like 3 times thicker than mine.
Okay. I got it. So no, I'm just making a statement that which I also despise listening to. That is how seriously these people take into confidence the narrations from Hamas and the people over there, which is a notorious terrorist group, and still they deny anything and everything that is coming from a country like Israel, which is known for its democracy, known for its coexistence with even non-Jewish community people. That's something awful that I don't buy from that, because and that's the only reason why I always stay open to the statements and the discussions and other things. Obviously there will be differences in opinion between you and me, between another, if I come and call another Jew, the perspectives would be completely different. That could be
Yeah.
there. Yeah, so that happens. So that's why I was mentioning that way. Anyway, one more last thing that I would like to ask you is that before closing, it's almost 1.5 hours. So it's something like we want peace in that region, right? So what is your vision into bringing about peace into that place? I'm not naming any place, any country.
Everywhere?
No, this region where you are living.
Yeah. First of all, like stop inducing war, like outside of this conflict, don't go like those rallies, those like they encourage Hamas to go on fighting because they believe that they can create a ring of fire around Israel, and then that would bring Israel down. So they endure whatever is happening to the Gazans because they say, oh, it's worth it because if we continue this way, then because the world pushes this conflict so much, it's going to get bigger. And then when all the billions of Muslims in the world will join the conflict, then the Jews will have no way of winning, right? If Pakistan with its nuclear power will suddenly join, and all peoples that are Muslims, because you blow this thing up so much, then they would have no reason even to come down. They would say it's worth it if we even all of us 100% of the Palestinians die. They think it might be worth it because it's for a greater Muslim cause, it's for a global cause. And if the world is cooperating with that thought, if the world is sending a message that yes, this thing is a global fight, and this is something that the whole world should be like a part of, you're encouraging that. Like you don't like these people think that they're gonna die murders, and that it's worth it, and they give up on their own lives because they say, oh, look how the world wants that. Like we do this for the world,
Okay.
and it can never end while it happens. Yeah.
Okay. So who do you see as an obstacle into this peace process?
There is no peace process while there is hope for annihilation or that the world is against the Jews. Stop enabling that. And also, like, this whole peace process, let's be honest, okay, the life quality in West Bank and Gaza was way better than almost any other Arab country, and almost all the countries in Africa and a lot of countries in Asia. The only thing that they don't have is an official citizenship in like an official country, but they have travel documents and they have everything they need to travel. So they're literally not are they're not really constrained in any way. So they can do way more than a person that lives in a village in Yemen can do. They can do way more than the average Sudanese person can do. They can travel more, they can go more, they can have more facilities, they live in better conditions, they have water, they have electricity. Two things that Jordan doesn't have water and Lebanon lives without electricity. Those are neighbors, our neighbors. So they have all of that. So let's relax, okay? Their life is not bad. There is no reason for this conflict to who cares? Okay, so they don't right now. They don't have like citizenship. What if you have like a Yemeni passport? You think it's worth something? It's not worth anything. So let's put things in proportion. Like what is this conflict? The whole conflict is ridiculous
Okay. Why is it ridiculous?
because they're not hungry. They live a good life. They have everything they need. They have work opportunities. They have place for their kids to go. They have schools. They have education. They have travel opportunities. They have everything that person needs. So this conflict, trying to solve this conflict by creating a solution that is premature, it's not a solution. It's just inviting death to an area that doesn't need death, that can go on without that.
Okay.
If you want to have a solution to places where people are actually dying in masses and actually starving, first solve like the conflict in Yemen, first solve the conflict in Nigeria. Like those are really like hardcore conflicts. Here,
Okay.
you don't need to solve it. Just let it be.
So when we talk today, the post October 7th, it was almost in a fine place. It was like that's what you were
Perfect.
meant.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Why do you need to endorse
So it
that?
was
Why wouldn't we need
invited.
to give?
Yeah.
It
So
was, it's a world. Yes, the world creates this conflict.
okay.
Qatar
And
with its money, Iran with its money, United States with its double facedness.
oh, got it. I wish the whole international community understand this, because inviting problems, inviting war, and promoting war, and glorifying those people who does all this in the name of resistance, even rape culture and all of the things, we cannot accept that. That's for sure.
Exactly.
But yeah, but at the same time, people are led away by this propaganda that is being done by this terrorist organization. That's what makes it more complex. People now have almost forgotten everything uh, before October 7th. What was it? They have no idea of what it was before October 7th.
The thing is, the solution for the conflict here is solve the conflict, and the first take care of the poor people in your town. First take care of the conflicts of wherever you're from. And then in your priority list, actually check who is really suffering before you get involved.
Great.
Like,
Yeah. Anyway, that makes sense. But I also understand your the energy and the difference. I'm listening to many of those things which you are mentioning here for the first time, I would say, because we hear a lot of things, but it was totally different. But at the same time, I'm open to listening to you as well.
I
So
think most people don't think globally, they think locally.
yeah,
So,
that's a big problem.
yeah.
Yeah, we have a question here from one of our viewers. Shall we go into that? It is to Rebecca. Does Netanyahu have enough support from Israelis now? That's one question. What do you have to say on that?
Yes.
He's having all those support
Yes.
for
Yes.
anything to do.
Yes.
Even if he is for pro two-state solution, people will be
No.
with him.
No.
Okay.
No. It's
Okay.
it's a democracy. We support a leader as long as they do what the policies that most people believe in.
Okay. So, and the second question is, will Israeli Defense Forces go into Rafah?
Yes.
Definitely.
No other choice. No other
Okay.
option.
What about the demands of families of hostages?
It depends. It's some of them are getting utilized for political campaigns, but there are just as many people who demand the exact opposite. They just don't get as much coverage. Especially like the world media doesn't want to hear about the hostages. They say you need to go to Rafah even if it means that my son or daughter will die. There are a lot of people like that too, but like it's not as like
Okay.
the title is not as catchy as like
It is seen outside.
yeah,
Okay,
it's
got
not
it.
as attractive.
Yeah. Okay, I think we have made sense to all these viewers. People might have some opposing views for sure, and I welcome all that. And you have two channels here to discuss all this. Even after this live, this discussion, you can move on to Rebecca's channel. It is over there, and you can ask some of your questions on my channel as well. So if I'm able to answer, I can answer myself. Otherwise, I'll just consult with our Jewish expert who is with us today. We can bring her more and more, like for more discussions over these topics. And I think this serve the purpose of our discussions and for this world peace. She has given a pretty good elaboration on how these people are over focused in this region, isn't it?
Yeah, it creates conflicts that might not have been there.
Yeah, yeah. So that's something that is true, I would say. Like, yeah, we have to get over that. Anyway, is there anything else that you would like to add,
No,
Rebecca?
I had so much fun talking to you.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
So you are
I
welcome
just
here.
I also love watching Indian channels for geopolitics. But
Okay.
sometimes you guys talk in a language I don't understand. Even when it
Oh,
says
okay.
English discussion, people move to a different language. This part, if you can
In
like,
between.
yeah, in
Okay.
between, I'm like,
Okay. We will look into
we
that.
just somehow like send that message for like the you have listeners that don't know what you're
Yes.
saying when you move to a different language.
Yeah, the problem is we even within India we have a very good audience. So and most of them are comfortable with this local languages. So we cannot switch to. But often
Of course.
yeah, often I go into these kind of discussions as well. So we can join in the future. So so thank you so much for joining with us
Thank
today.
you.
So we will see
Thank
you
you so
again.
much. I had a lot of
Yeah,
fun.
yeah. So subscribe to her channel as well, Rebecca Persef, right? That's the name.
Yes.
Yeah, so you can see it on YouTube, and she's very much active on Instagram. That's the place where I could get her into this discussion. Thank you so much for accepting our my invitation. It was so quick from your part,
Thank you
so
for
I really.
inviting me. It's a great honor, really.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So just like you were hosting AP and David Woods in Israel, I would like to host you and some of your friends in India back here. You can visit your synagogue and all those things.
Oh
Yeah.
my God, are you kidding?
Yeah.
I'm coming now. I'm looking for a flight.
Okay, you're always welcome. So you can be here. You can even see some of these places, which might get you a historical perspective of how these
That would
Jews
be
were living in.
amazing.
Yeah,
That would be
so
amazing.
it's close to my place. It's very much near.
Oh
So
my
thank you
God.
so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay, bye. Take care.
Bye bye.
Yeah, bye. So that completes our live today. Thank you so much for all the viewers on multiple platforms. So I appreciate all your support. I have seen a lot of people donating and supporting with their comments and their questions and all other things. So that was fantastic. So I wish this will be done in the future too. So thank you so much. So we'll be back with another one very soon. Thank you so much. Bye. Good night.